Well, the injury bug has taken another victim. The Utah Jazz are looking a little beat up, and the Clippers might be resurged. Let's talk about that. All coming up in just a minute. What's good, everybody? It's your boy Jay here with Unfair Sports, where we take a pensive approach to the sports conversation. And in this video, myself and Jimmy's going to talk through the Utah Jazz's chances of getting out of the second round. Anyway, so next up, Jimmy, what's going on?
Next, let's stick with the NBA playoffs, Jay. Let's go out west, where we had some interesting games over the weekend, starting with the Clippers-Jazz series, who played Saturday night. So with the Clippers facing an 0-3 deficit for the second time this playoffs, found a way to not only beat the Utah Jazz, but beat them handedly 132-106. Definitely fantastic performance by both Paul George and Kawhi Leonard, who each eclipsed 30 points. And in this game also, you had, we could say, an aggravation of the injury to star player for the Jazz, Donovan Mitchell, who was hobbling at the end of the game, couldn't finish the game at all. He says he's going to be good for Game 4, which will be tonight. So we'll know the outcome of that by the time you all hear this show. But with Donovan Mitchell already hobbling, on top of having to carry that franchise, or because of he's having to carry that franchise, the Jazz will not make it out of the second round. Is it fair or unfair to say that?
I think it's fair to say right now, unfortunately, this is why you had Donovan Mitchell leave the game with that injury. And then you've got, right now, we have Mike Conley, who is officially out of this game. So those that, when you hear this tomorrow, when you hear this, the game will already be passed, but it'll be out. So it looks like this is going to be 2-2, and we don't know what Donovan Mitchell looks like. And this is where my assessment comes from. This is that when he got hurt again and left, if you watch the video, there really wasn't anything there that indicated he hurt himself. Mm-hmm. But he had stated that it was over time he was being bothered by it, which I think is also similar to what we were seeing with LeBron with the Lakers. When he hurt his injury and he was saying he wasn't going to be 100% probably for the rest of his career, you could see as the game went on longer that it looked like he was more so favoring that ankle and that injury. And now we're seeing a lot more players deal with these similar injuries because of them having so few time off. Think about it. The Miami Heat are out quick. The Lakers are out quick. Mm-hmm. Basically, all the teams that made it deep into the playoffs are the only ones actually left. Well, the ones that didn't make it deep are the ones left. The Nets got eliminated first round last year. Mm-hmm. They're still playing. Milwaukee got knocked out second round last year. They looked out and played Miami, so they helped them get through. Mm-hmm. They're still going. Mm-hmm. Philly was swept in the first round last year.
The Suns didn't make it.
Even though they went 8-0 in the bubble. Mm-hmm. Denver made it to the conference finals. They got eliminated second round pretty easily. Mm-hmm. The Jazz got eliminated. Was they first round or second round? I think they were first round.
Yeah, because they had a 3-1 lead over Denver.
Yep, Denver knocked them out last year. So, boom. Right. So, you can tell that the teams that were eliminated early are the ones that had the extra rest, the extra month of rest. Mm-hmm. They're the ones that are actually going a lot deeper in the playoffs. So for Utah, having two guys that are hobbling like this, going against a Clippers team that's actually healthy, shockingly, this might be the first time in team history the Clippers make it out. And you might be right, Jimmy.
I might be, yeah. I agree. It is fair to say that they won't make it out of the second round. They are in trouble. Obviously, I was going to say that before because that was my prediction. But with this Donovan Mitchell injury, I don't think he's going to make it through Game 4. I don't think they're going to win Game 4, and I think the Clippers have completely taken control of this series.
Hate it.
You can tell they look the way. They don't look like a fully formed Clippers team, the kind that we thought we were going to see last year, but they're looking better and better. They're looking more efficient. They're looking like they actually have some sort of an identity, and they're doing something different. They're actually letting PG play PG a little bit more, and he's showing that he can actually do that.
Yeah.
And you're right. In a season like this, in the playoffs like this, what we've already seen, even more so than in seasons past, where it is a war of attrition. Whoever has their best players, the healthiest, is usually who wins. The Clippers might actually be the healthiest team still left in the playoffs outside of the Suns, which I would discount them somewhat.
In the West, yeah.
Yeah, because Chris Paul Chris Paul is Chris Paul, and because that shoulder injury could pop up again. Joel Embiid, meniscus, etc. So the Clips being the healthier team, the healthiest team, on top of not having a player who's having to feel like they have to carry this entire team, is what's going to propel them past them, because now they can see the Jazz for what they are. The Jazz, solid team, fluid on offense, really good on defense, but they only have one guy who can create for themselves, and that guy has a bum ankle.
That is true.
So that's what the series essentially comes down to. So I don't think the Jazz are going to win another game in this series.
Yeah, and that's the one thing I fear. I want the Jazz. I really want the Jazz to win this series so they can go ahead and just lose to the Suns in the conference finals, and we get the Phoenix Suns win the championship.
Why would you want that? Why would you not want to see the Clips and the Suns?
No, I want to see the Suns play the Jazz. I'm hoping that we get another fan similar to the Nuggets fan that got taken out by the Suns fan that told everybody Suns in 4. You saw that video, right?
I did not see that
Okay,
video.
so there was a fight during the Suns and Nuggets game in Denver. Suns fan was down there. There was 2 Nuggets fans just running their mouths, talking noise, and then one of the Nuggets fans tried to punch the dude. He missed him. Guy grabbed him. Looked like a hockey player.
Yeah.
Like he's played hockey in his past. Basically, looked like he was pulling the shirt over the dude's head, held him down, was railing on him.
Yeah.
So, yeah, say something. And his boy tried to come over. Boy missed. He swung at the boy, hit him, knocked him back, and he kept swinging at him, and they finally got him to break up. The dude was like, Suns in 4. And because he did that Suns in 4, I'm going to make that into a T-shirt. And I'm sold on that. I want to see that because I know that'll happen with a Jazz fan. There's some rowdy Jazz fans, and if I'm drinking enough, we hear about the stories of the things they do. I would love to see that fan go to Utah and start a ruckus out of it. There won't be no ruckus at Clippers fans.
So outside of wanting that,
I want the violence. I want the fan violence.
Outside of wanting that, you see the Clippers now going to the Western Conference Finals.
Unfortunately, yes. Because I and this other thing, Clippers, no shade to y'all, but I really enjoy you guys losing and constantly falling apart. I do. I actually enjoy teams that do that because it just warms my heart when they do the things, when they become like that thing. We do the clippering thing. We got the falconing thing. When they do that, when they become that becomes them.
The world sort of rotates on its axis appropriately when the things that always happen end up happening.
Exactly. And I was in hopes, in my dreams, that would happen to them, and I could just continue to laugh and say, you guys did what we expect you to do. But right now, it looks like the Clippers aren't. They look like they have a chance to do it. Now, the question is, as you mentioned, can Paul George continue to produce what playoff P is doing right now?
Yeah.
We laugh at him. We call him Pandemic P, rightfully so. All the jokes can fly because he gave himself this nickname, and he hasn't really performed like he should. But don't get it twisted. Paul George is a really good player. Like, Paul George is probably one of the top 25 players in this league.
He is.
He can. There's arguments in that range, but dude, when he's on, especially at his height. He can shoot. He can dribble. He can run point guard. He can do all of that stuff. He can defend. We've seen him defend at high levels. So as much as we like to joke and laugh about Paul George, which I thoroughly enjoy those still, we can't deny how great the dude is whenever he is playing at. I mean, he was an MVP candidate and Defensive Player of the Year candidate before he hurt himself when he was playing with Westbrook. So we know he can do it. We know he's capable of it. The problem is he just doesn't show up when he needs to. As of right now, it looks like he's actually showing up.
And, in seeing this too, it's really helped me to understand the importance of having a shot creator. Because you can have, and the Jazz do, you can have, fantastic sets that get you the types of options on offense that you want. You can have just fantastic play designs.
Yep.
But the problem in a 7-game series is they've seen your best moves by about game 3.
Yep.
And then after that, when your sets won't work and your plays won't work, you have to have 2 guys who can go and get a bucket on their own.
It's all about ISO at that point. That's when ISO is the most important, which I know we hate talking about it. We love the beautiful flow of basketball. That's when ISO wins, unless you've got shooters like Golden State and shooters like San Antonio used to have. If you don't have a team full of just shooters who can who can knock down a bucket anytime, you need that guy that can get a bucket, and most teams in this league do not have that.
So by the time you hear this show, it will be tied to the Clips in another double-digit victory on Monday night.
And so far, Jimmy will be continuing his push for the Clippers to win said championship.
I'm not worried about it.
His flowers are coming, he thinks, and there's no chance your flowers are coming.